What is up? Good afternoon, everybody. The boys are back. I know it's been long awaited. It's been a few weeks since I've been back on the show. It's good to be back. Welcome back to the Rookies of the Year, brought to you by Pop Sports Network. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so thank you guys for all the support you guys have been showing. But this week, we're going to break down a couple wild finishes. We got some breakout performances, some headlines in all three sports that we're going to be talking about. This episode is going to be packed. The Giants collapsed. The Eagles are coming back. MLB postseason, Game 7. Best two words in sports. And NBA will be back this week, so we're going to talk a little bit of expectations on that. But let's dive straight into it. Probably the game of the week was Giants versus Broncos. And I thought, man, what the hell is going on with these Giants? They lose Malik Neighbors, and they're just dominating teams ever since then. And then sure enough, they showed us it's the same old Giants with an epic collapse. So let's start with that. How did the Giants let a 26-8 lead evaporate with less than 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter? Talk to me, Rob.
Bro. I was right there with you. I was looking at the game. They were up 26-8 with like a couple minutes left. I'm over here telling everyone I see, the Giants are actually a good football. A couple minutes by and they're losing the football game. They gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, I know Jackson Dart had a crucial fourth quarter interception, but you can't blame anybody but the defense here. How do you give up 33 points in a fourth quarter?
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I think when those teams have those big leads, they go into that prevent defense, and they just start giving up huge plays, and it just starts shifting momentum. And Denver low-key has a pretty good environment over there in Mile High, which I think the fans kind of got behind them. You saw that. Did you see that touchdown that Jackson Dart threw where it bounced off the guy's hand, and then the other guy caught it kind of right in stride? So everything was kind of going their way up until that point. It was just a matter of time where the Broncos where the chips fell in their favor. But the Broncos, like you said, were scoreless through three quarters. Bo Nix was having a terrible game. Jackson Dart was throwing 283 yards before he threw that pick. Giants missed a big extra point, which kind of shifted momentum too. But yeah, that's actually the Giants' most points in a single quarter in franchise history is 33 points in the fourth quarter. But I thought it was a really good rally for the Broncos. They had the whole thing with Demaryius Thomas getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. So kind of the vibes were high for the Broncos up leading into that game. So, I mean, I thought it was crazy. Just the different momentum swings in that game is it was just insane to see. It was just a textbook example of how the game kind of isn't over until the fat lady sings until that clock hits zero. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, bro, you look at the scoring, play by play. 8 plays, 78 yards. Then they gave up a 2-point conversion. 13 plays, 80 yards. They give up another 2-point conversion. Then the interception happens. The Broncos get like a 14-yard possession for a touchdown. Then they get the ball back. 6 plays, 68 yards in 51 seconds. Bro, that Giants defense was Swiss cheese in the fourth quarter. It's insane.
I think the Giants defense is pretty solid once their defense, because their defensive line is just so stacked. You got Abdul Carter, you got Dexter Lawrence, you got Burns. Like, they should be getting to the quarterback like religiously, which they were through the first three quarters. And then those DBs were just giving up big plays, chunk after chunk play. Bo Nix in the fourth quarter, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. He kind of had his moment there, where he showed that he's ready for he's destined for greatness. I think Bo Nix is going to be a Broncos quarterback for a long time, in my eyes.
Did you know that Bo Nix is the first quarterback in NFL history to score 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns in any quarter?
Wow. Are you serious?
Yes.
That's an insane stat in his second year. It was one of those things where the Giants had that 99.9% probability on ESPN that they were going to win. And then just sure enough, I should have been betting the Broncos when that shit was happening. They were probably like plus 3,000.
Maybe more than that, bro.
Out of these two young quarterbacks, who are we giving all the credit to Bo Nix, or are we shifting the blame to Jackson Dart? Because I think Jackson Dart had a good game up until you got – I mean, that's when the game is won and lost, is when if you could close it out, if you could be the last one with the ball, who are you going to give the credit to? Or are you going to give Jackson Dart a hard time on this?
Jackson Dart, he definitely could have been better in the fourth quarter. But like you said, overall, he had a pretty solid game. And Bo Nix, bro, 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That's just insane. You got to give him all the credit there. Obviously, the Giants' defense was atrocious in the fourth quarter, but Bo Nix did what he needed to do. He broke records, did something that's never been done before in any quarter. All the credit goes to him. That was insane.
And
Incredible.
If you're a Giants fan, you're just happy. Like once Malik Neighbors went out, you were probably expecting this team to be just fighting for a number 1 or top 3 pick again this year. So for you to be kind of fighting against one of the top contenders in the AFC, which the Broncos definitely are, you're just happy to see that. And you know that you have a franchise quarterback going forward, and you know him and Scatabo are going to be playing well for the rest of the season. Tyrone Tracy had a big run, but Jackson Dart, you could just see it that this kid is poised for the moment. He's ready for it. I think he's a little cringy. Sometimes I don't like watching him and his whole Anakin Skywalker kind of feel to it. I think that shit's kind of cringy to me, but I will say he could play a little bit of ball. So I'll give him his credit where it's due. But yeah, I'm not really feeling – he's kind of corny to me. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, he reminds me a little bit of Drake May. It's just cool as shit.
No, Drake May he's so nonchalant. He has so much aura. Like, he's ready for this moment, bro. He's MVP. All right,
he's
Eagles
good,
versus,
but he definitely doesn't have aura.
He has hella aura. Let's talk about Philly. There. Let's move on. After 2 straight losses, this was kind of a must-win game for Philly. Was this the bounce-back win that the Eagles needed to kind of get back on track and be one of the best teams in football like we all know they can be?
Yeah, this was definitely a big game for the Eagles. Obviously, you mentioned the 2 losses that they had, especially getting blown out by the Giants. That's a result that nobody was expecting. But they had a game yesterday in Minnesota. It was a tough game. It was expected to be a tough game, and it was. They only won by 6 points, but the offense was clicking. They were high-flying. They were throwing bombs down the field. Jalen Hurts was proving everyone wrong that says he can't throw the football. And I am concerned about their running game, though. They have not been able to get Saquon Barkley going at all. Yeah. But they were still able to win the football game. Jalen Hurts had a monster game, and they got the win.
Yeah, they had that pick 6 too. Like when their defense is flying around and they get those big plays. I think Hurts he only had 4 incompletions yesterday, like 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, had a perfect passer rating. That's not something that we were expecting out of Jalen Hurts. But they go to 5-2, right? They have 2 losses, so they're 5-2 on the year. After dropping those 2 games, and like you were saying, they haven't looked right in the ground game. I think that's because they're battling a few injuries on the offensive line, and that was kind of like what carried them a lot last year. Saquon with only 40-something yards, I think. He hasn't been spectacular. He hasn't been the Saquon that we saw last year, especially. But those wide receivers, like you said, stepped up. You got both of those guys with over 100 yards. Devontae Smith with a career high 183 receiving yards. He had the long 79-yard touchdown over Isaiah Rodgers where he just kind of hit him with an in and out against cover 3 and just hit the seam on him. And, that was a beautiful ball by Hurts. Hit him right in stride. But, yeah, that was good to see that those wide receivers can kind of deliver the way that they did to be able to carry that offense through.
Yeah, they did a great job getting open. A.J. Brown had some huge splash plays, that touchdown, and he also had that big catch in the fourth quarter, which kind of helped them seal the game.
Yeah.
And then obviously you mentioned Devontae Smith catching that absolute dime from Jalen Hurts for 74 yards?
I think it was 79. It was almost 80. Yeah.
79, I think. Yeah, 74, 79.
I think it's crazy to me that just like the hot and cold with Jalen Hurts sometimes, and some weeks he looks like he shouldn't even be an NFL quarterback, and then weeks like this where he's just carving up defenses. But I think it just depends on the schemes that defenses are throwing at him. The Vikings aren't really that great on defense, especially in their secondary. But yeah, it's just so funny to me where some weeks that Jalen Hurts, I'm like, I'll never bet on this guy, or I'll never have an Eagles wide receiver because this guy looks like he can't process a high school defense, and then he just goes out and he has a great game like this. It's good to see. It's just the hot and cold. It's got to stop. It's got to be more consistent. Did you see where they were trying to stop the tush push with the guy just laying down horizontally? Did you see that?
Yeah, bro. That was hilarious.
Like, what are you trying to do right here?
It didn't work. Didn't work out.
It's gonna be a speed bump.
Oh man, they're just trying everything at this point, bro.
But are you ready to say the Eagles are back as one of the top contenders in the NFC?
Oh yeah, for sure. Even when they lost those 2 games, wasn't too worried about them. I wasn't too worried about them. It's kind of like the Chiefs on the other side of the, in the AFC. We'll get into that too, but sometimes teams just go through some early season struggles.
Yeah, and sometimes teams are just playoff teams. You know what I mean? When it's time to just go out and win a game, that's what they're going to do. They don't care if it's flashy. They don't care if it's pretty. But I think the Eagles, they need to go out there and win a few more games and be able to host playoff games in the Link, because I think that's where a big difference is when they're up in Philly and those asshole of fans are screaming in everybody's ear. They kind of thrive off that environment. All right, let's just talk a little bit of stuff around the league. We talked about the Chiefs. We mentioned the Chiefs, so let's hit on them for a little bit. He had star wide receiver Rashee Rice back after his hit and run kind of occasion down in Texas. So with star wide receiver Rashee Rice back, did the Chiefs kind of get themselves back in Super Bowl as a Super Bowl contender again? They're not even in the playoffs right now. But we know that when it's January, they'll be right in the mix of things. And how do you feel about them being a Super Bowl contender this year?
I'm feeling good. I honestly, I think the Chiefs are still the team to beat in the AFC.
Wow.
I kind of thought that all along. I knew they were going to get their guys back, like Rashee Rice. Xavier Worthy missed a few games. Yeah. The offense just wasn't clicking. They started the season with a brutal schedule. And, especially missing all that talent offensively, they were always going to struggle through those games. Mm-hmm. But now they got all of their guys back. And we just know when it comes down to it in January, the Chiefs just find ways to win games. That's just what they do. But I watched a good portion of that game yesterday. And that offense, bro, is just ridiculous. They started the game.
It's Vegas. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Vegas. But they started the game with like 4 or 5 straight offensive touchdowns. I think it was 4 in a row. They had 3 straight 80-plus yard drives for touchdowns. And Mahomes was just dotting up everybody. Rashee Rice, Worthy, Brown, Kelsey. He was getting Thornton involved. Everyone. Noah Gray was catching passes. That offense is they're clicking.
It's weird to see them on a 1 o'clock. So weird to see them at 1 o'clock because we're always used to them being prime time or America's game of the week. I was like, the Chiefs are playing at 1. I mean, I guess they're playing Vegas. So
I'm pretty sure they're in prime time again next week on Monday night.
They always are. That doesn't surprise me. But I think the league kind of forgot who Rashee Rice was, and you kind of saw right immediately that they were trying to get him going. The first drive, they hit him with that end around for the touchdown, and they're putting the league on notice. Like they're going to be back. They didn't have him at all last year. He has the potential to be a top 10 wide receiver in the league easily. He has great breakout speed, and just getting separation, I think, is what he does really well. And he has good size and good frame. I really like Rashee Rice. I have him on my fantasy in one of my leagues. But yeah, the kid is back, and I think he's going to have a huge impact on this Chiefs team for them to actually have like a real wide receiver threat that's not just a Xavier Worthy down the field bomb, or Tyquan Thornton, the same thing with these big plays down the field. I think Rashee can do it all three levels as a receiver. So, and you throw Travis in the mix. So, yeah, they're going to be good. They're going to be fine.
It takes a lot of pressure. It takes a lot of pressure off of Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy, not having to be those number one and number two guys, because Rashee Rice is clearly their number one receiver. And then that leaves Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy to do what they do best, which is, like you said, down the field threat, speed threat, get on the outside. And then obviously that opens things up for Travis Kelce too, having Rashee Rice on the field. Because Travis, in the first couple of weeks of the season, they would just double Travis. You really can't do that anymore. And then you got Tyquan Thornton there too. He's a downfield threat. You got Noah Gray to throw in the mix. And then Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco are catching passes out of the backfield. If they can just get the run game going a little more, that offense is going to be unstoppable.
And the defense, we're not really talking about the defense, but they shut out Geno Smith 31-0. That defense is always there with Spagnuolo.
That was the first regular season shutout of Andy Reid's career.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Which is crazy because he's coached over 400 games.
Yeah. But, that defense is always going to be there with Spagnuolo as their defensive coordinator. He's one of the best to do it. We saw the problems that they gave Detroit last week as well on defense. So, yeah, I think I'm with you. As long as they don't see Drake May, they'll have a chance at the Super Bowl this year. So, hopefully they get Lamar or they get Josh, because those are the guys that they own. Drake May he's coming to take over.
Bro, you guys are losing in wild card weekend. You're not winning.
No, we're not. No, we're not. All right, let's move over to Chicago. No, it's not happening. Let's move over to Chicago. The Bears suddenly, don't look now, but 4 straight wins, and they might have a chance. They're not that too far back in the NFC North. How do you feel about the Chicago Bears team and their new identity? Do you think they're legit?
The Bears, yeah. They've been playing great football, man. Like you said, they've reeled off 4 straight wins. Schedule hasn't been that tough, but you can only play who's in front of you. And they're doing a good job. Caleb Williams is having a little bit of a coming out party. Roma Dunze has been playing really good. And the defense has tightened it up a little bit too after giving up 52 points to the Lions. Yeah, after that game where they gave up 52 points against the Lions, they've kind of tightened it up a little bit. And, yeah, man, they've been playing really good football. Albeit it was against the Saints yesterday. Yeah. Yeah,
still. You got to see this team get a little bit of confidence. You haven't seen them be able to get their stride really in the last few years. So to see Caleb Williams be successful, it's kind of like as a young quarterback, and then you have a first-time head coach. Reeling off these wins means a lot to them. I think that they just got to step up when the time comes against these big teams. But I think that they'll make it competitive. Their coach and their roster is solid, so they should be able to be in games and be able. You have DeAndre Swift having 2 back-to-back really good games. They went out and beat Washington last week on Monday night. So yeah, I think this gives them a little bit of confidence, and hopefully they do find a new identity as being a good team in this league and not just being a mediocre laughingstock in the league like we've known them to be.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely sold on them being like a playoff team or anything, just because their schedule from here on out is brutal.
But they're on the
But they're
brink.
at least going to be a competitive team.
Yeah.
They're on the brink, and they're going to be competitive.
And
They got
they play
Baltimore
one
next
of the
week, by the way, on the road. Lamar Jackson will probably be back.
yeah, well, hopefully Baltimore shows up with the Baltimore that we know, because they're looking at being outside of the playoff picture, to be honest, right now.
Hopefully they don't show up so that the Steelers can run away with this division.
You're gonna have to watch out for the Bengals, buddy. Speaking
Joe
of laughing
Flacco, he's
stocks,
coming.
speaking of laughing stocks, let's talk about those guys in the 305. Man, they're just going down, 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 downhill in Miami. You lose 31-6 against the Browns. The spiral has started in Miami. I don't think Mike McDaniel is going to make it through the rest of the season. I think Tua might need to just get benched and you start Quinn Ewers. This team it's over. It's time to blow it up down there in Miami. Tua threw 3 interceptions yesterday. Some of them just were ugly interceptions too. But this team just can't get it going. They kind of had decent expectations going into this season, but you lose Tyreek Hill, and things are just going bad for Miami. So talk about them a little bit, Robbie.
Miami, dude, this team is awful. There's nothing that they're good at. Their passing game is awful. The running game is decent.
A-Chain's
give
the only
credit to
person they
A-Chain.
have. Yeah.
He's the only one that's actually showing up and doing his job. The defense has been atrocious. The offense has been worse. Tua has looked absolutely terrible. The CTE is definitely catching up to him. Like you said, how many interceptions is he at this year? 10?
Dude, I have no
This
idea.
dude's a turnover machine. They call him Tua turn the ball over for a reason.
Yep.
That's what he does. He's a turnover machine. Even if Tyreek Hill was healthy, I don't think this team would be any better. They're terrible. And honest, bro, one thing I gotta give credit to Gene. Gene actually called the Dolphins' demise. He said they were going to spiral out of control this year, and that they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
I didn't know they were going to be this bad.
That we worked with believed them, and it has worked out. They are 1-6. They're terrible.
Yep.
They're one of the worst teams in the league.
They could probably be 0-6. They beat the Jets. They're 0-7. They beat the Jets. Like, it wasn't even. You shouldn't even count that as a win, beating the Jets.
Yeah, their
like
one win is against a team that doesn't have a win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not much to say on the Dolphins. Like you said, they probably should bench Tua at this point and start Quinn Ewers, because you got nothing to lose. You might as well see what you have with Quinn Ewers. And I don't know. Maybe did they trade Jalen Waddle? I don't think so. But
I think you have to.
We'll see what happens.
You got to just blow this team up and start over. See what you can get for Waddle. Test the waters with that. You could probably get at least a second-round pick for him.
Hell yeah. And then the Steelers will send you a second-round pick. Give us Jalen Waddle.
A-Chain. It might as well be the Miami A-Chains, because he's the only one that's showing up for this team. He still had a long touchdown yesterday afternoon. He's the only one that's contributed. Or no, they didn't even score a touchdown. I think he only had 51. I think he had like a long 50-yard run. I don't think they even scored a touchdown yesterday. Just 2 field goals. It's 31-6. But yeah, this team is just going downhill, man, and I love to see it. I knew that they weren't going to be good, but I didn't think they were going to be this bad. And it's just gotten so much worse And you know Miami fans, they're the most fair weather fans probably in all of sports. So it's going to be real grim. That stadium's going to be really empty, even past the first quarter. You know, when all the fans show up late there, it's going to be empty all the way through the entire game because they're just one of the worst fan bases in sports. They don't have any love for their teams for real.
No, they don't. Like you said, even when they're good, the fans are barely showing up. They're one of the worst teams in the league now. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough for them to sell tickets. Well, no, they're going to sell tickets, but nobody's showing up.
The IG baddies are going to be taking their pictures out there in the boxes and shit.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Probably only got to spend like $20 to get in the building at this point.
Let's segue to a good AFC East team. You see it. The boys are rolling.
The
Drake
Bills?
May. You see it. You got the classic Reebok Gronkowski jersey with the real stitching because Fanatics fucked up all the jerseys in sports nowadays. Man, I could go on and on about Drake May. This could be a Drake May podcast for the next hour if I really wanted to. Has a 90% completion percentage. It's never happened for a Patriot with over 20 attempts. Not even Thomas Edward Brady threw 90% completion percentage as a Patriot. This guy is dealing. I think Drake May has the best deep ball in all of football right now. He can't miss on a ball past 20 yards down the field. It's just dropping in every bucket. He can hit a solo cup 20 yards down the field and just drop the nose of the football in there. That's how accurate he is. This team, I love to see it. I have something to live for on Sundays. I don't worry about anything else on Sundays but what the Patriots are doing because they're just so damn good, and I love me some Drake May. My son's going to be named Tatum Drake Cabral, and Drake is going to be it's Drake May and Drizzy Drake for his middle name. So that's just how I'm feeling right now. This team is just rolling, and they're going to put they're putting the league on notice that we're one of the top teams in the AFC, the second seed right now. Man, it's good to be a Pats fan right now.
Are you done, bro?
I can keep going. I can keep going.
You got a little something here.
Let me make sure I get it all.
Wow. I can't believe we just witnessed. I'm sorry, guys. For everyone watching, I'm sorry that you had to witness that. This normally doesn't happen. If this is your first time tuning in, please don't be scared away by what just happened on the other side of the screen. But I'll give him credit. Drake May looks really good. I'm glad that you're having a fun time right now as a Pats fan. Enjoy it until January. You guys are going to beat up on the weakest schedule in the league. You're going to win probably 11 or 12 games, and then you're going to lose in the first round, and you're going to be really sad.
I got to go back to our old podcast where I was saying that we're going to win 10 games, we're going to make the playoffs, and everybody laughed at me, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy. But I knew what we were capable of this year. With Mike Vrabel, a real coach, Josh McDaniels calling the offense, and Drizzy Drake. That boy is just – I knew what he was capable of after what I saw last year. And this guy has mediocre weapons around him. You give this guy a real wide receiver one, he's making Kayshon Boutte look like a top receiver in football. This guy catches a 30-yard bomb every single week, it seems like, damn near. But, man, it's just so sweet. This team is so good. Just another dominant win by the Pats. Defense scored a touchdown. Offense is just so damn balanced. They can't miss. The guy is just I can go on and on, dude. I'm hard underneath this table just thinking about Drake May.
Bro, you can't be saying that type of stuff.
Sorry about the kids. But I think we're a real contender. I think we're a real contender. I'm not with you on we're gonna lose first week in the wild card round. First of all, we're going to win our division. We're going to beat the Bills again.
You might
We're
win
gonna
the
beat
division,
Bills again.
honestly.
And we just rattled off 3 straight road wins. 1 in Buffalo. Man, this team is
And where were
legit,
the
man.
other ones? Where were the other two?
We're talking about the Buffalo
Where were the other two? Tennessee and where else?
and New Orleans.
Exactly, bro. Come on. Those two teams are combined, what, 2-11?
I was scared at the beginning. Cam Ward ripped like a 30-yard touchdown, and I was like, oh, shit, this is not going well. But then Drake May, he showed me what he was capable of. And, man, this Travion Henderson has not been even shown up in this offense at all this year. I think there's like third strings on other teams that have more impact on their team than Travion Henderson has this season, which is really sad to see because I thought this kid was going to be Rookie of the Year candidate. And he was getting drafted in like the 4th round in some leagues. But this guy just can't get it going. But
yeah, I was really high on him, but they haven't been able to get the running game going at all. Even Ramondre hasn't been that good either. Honestly, I don't know why they don't just play Travion more, because I feel like Ramondre and Travion are kind of having similar production right now. But Ramondre is just a turnover machine.
Ramondre had a really good game yesterday. I think he had 60 yards in the first half. But, yeah, up until yesterday, it's been a terrible season for Ramondre. I think he's only had like 300 yards rushing, maybe even if that. I think it was less than that.
He's turning the ball over like every other game, at least. It's kind of ridiculous. He did have a good game yesterday, 18 carries for 88 yards and a touchdown. Before yesterday, he had 51 carries for 157 yards.
Wow. That's awful.
Terrible. And then Travion Henderson only has 153 yards on 43 carries, which isn't good either. So
not at all.
If you guys can get that running game going, then maybe we'll talk about being a contender. But if you can't run the football, you're not going to contend in the NFL.
I think our offensive line just doesn't thrive on run game on the run game. I think they do really good in pass protection and protecting Drake May, because I think Drake May has been very decisive with how he has been handling the ball. You've seen that completion percentage; it's sitting at 72% on the season. This guy is he's making the right plays, and I think the Josh McDaniels offense is really so much better than whatever Gerard Mayo was fucking putting out there last season. But yeah, I'm like I said, I could just keep going on and on about Drake May for another hour, but I guess we'll move on. But yeah, this team is going to be legit when it comes to playoff time, and we'll be hosting games in Foxborough like we used to, and it's going to feel like the 2010s all over again. And you guys are going to have to deal with us. We're going to be owning those Pittsburgh Steelers for a long time.
Do you want that? You're only going to play one playoff game this year. So do you want to lose at home? Wouldn't you rather lose on the road?
We're going to win. Doesn't matter who we play. Doesn't matter if it's Lamar Jackson. Doesn't matter if it's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. You better be worried about Drizzy Drake May.
Let's move on.
All right, let's go across the pond. The Rams just went out there, destroyed and beat up on the Jags yesterday, 35-7, without Puka. Did they prove that they're still kind of that high-powered offense? I mean, the Jags were a good defense up until yesterday. We saw them kind of playing really good and stopping really good teams before this. And even without their best receiver, the Rams really proved that they're still kind of a high-powered offense and one of the best teams in the league in the NFC.
Of course, man. I mean, we knew it all along. Any offense that has Matthew Stafford at quarterback is going to be high-powered. Like, this guy, he's just a machine. You give him anybody.
He threw 5 touchdowns yesterday?
5 touchdowns.
3 to Devontae?
3 to Devontae. No Puka. He puts up 5 tutties, 3 to Devontae Adams. I did predict that the Rams would win that game. I didn't think it would be anywhere near as much of a blowout as it was. I mean, that was just a domination from start to finish. I think they were up 28-0 at one point in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the offense looks great. The defense looks good. I think the Jaguars were not nearly as good as everybody thought they were. I think they're kind of going to spiral now a little bit. They still might be a wild card team, but they were never as good as everybody thought they were.
Yeah. I think you're right. I had high hopes that they might win the division earlier this year. I like that Travis Hunter had his first career touchdown and over 100 yards yesterday. So I'm glad to see him kind of making an impact. I'm really a big Travis Hunter fan. But Brian Thomas Jr., I don't know how many drops he had yesterday, but it was a lot. This guy he's not making the big step that I thought he was going to be making this year after a great rookie season last year, where he was definitely a top 10 receiver in football. I don't think you can really throw him in there as one of those anymore. But yeah, that Jacksonville team, the team that's always playing in London, you would think that they'd be used to it by now, because they've always talked about maybe even just moving the Jags to London. That's how often that they play there, because Amir Khan and I think he owns Tottenham or one of those soccer teams out there. But yeah, they still couldn't show up in their second home stadium. Good for the Rams though. I'm happy that they could still show out, and hopefully that they'll be good once Puka comes back, because he's a sight to see. I love watching some Puka Nacua.
Yeah, that team is going to be able to compete with anybody in the NFC. I wouldn't say they're the favorite or anything to win the NFC, but they can compete with every team that's over there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's talk about this guy who I think is probably the MVP of the league right now, a running back. Another 3-touchdown performance yesterday.
I thought you were going to say Drake May.
No. I think Jonathan Taylor, if I had an MVP vote right now, it would be JT. He's making the offense just so much easier to be able to just put the team on his back. I do think Daniel Jones has been playing really well, but I think he's been complimenting Jonathan Taylor and just the defenses that you have to stack the box with JT. So he's getting a lot of one-on-one matchups, but Daniel Jones has been throwing the rock pretty well. How do you feel about Jonathan Taylor having a legitimate MVP case right now as the engine of the Colts offense?
I think he deserves to be in the conversation, but if you look at last year, if we couldn't give it to Saquon Barkley after the year he put together last year, I don't think there's any chance for Jonathan Taylor this year, unless he finishes with like 2,000 yards and 25 touchdowns.
Right.
It's just, I don't think it's going to happen. But he should be in the conversation, but he won't be. But he's definitely going to run away with the Offensive Player of the Year at the rate he's going. 3 more touchdowns yesterday. I think he's up to 10 touchdowns on the year.
12.
He's up to 12 now?
Yes.
Jesus. What is he
12 touchdowns.
How many yards does he have?
Like 900. I think he's at like 890.
My goodness. My God.
He's averaging like almost, I think it's 5 yards a carry.
I'm seeing 697 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Okay. Maybe he has, well, are you throwing in the
But he does have 180, he has 185 receiving yards and another touchdown.
Okay.
So he does have about almost 900 yards and 11 touchdowns through 7 games. It's unreal. That's Offensive Player of the Year for sure. Unanimous Offensive Player of the Year. But we know they're not going to be able to. Well, they are able to, but they're not going to put him in the MVP conversation.
Who was the last running back? Was it AP that won MVP? Yeah, you had to give it to him that year. That dude was killing shit.
Yeah. He should have broke the record, but they, for some reason, didn't give him the ball on that last possession. I still remember watching that as a kid, being pissed. I wanted him to break the record.
But Jonathan Taylor, he's scoring a touchdown damn near every week. I think he has 6 multi-touchdown games this year. Like he's just killing shit right now.
Well, he has 3 games this year with 3 touchdowns.
my God. That's his third game with 3 touchdowns?
Yeah, we're only 7 games in.
That's a league winner if you drafted him in fantasy this year. I just want to give you guys kudos if you guys drafted Jonathan Taylor this year after what was kind of a slow last 2 years. I think he still had a good year, but I remember 3 years ago, like he was running back 1 easily, and then he got hurt, and then last year was like he had a good year, but it wasn't a great year. And then Jonathan Taylor just kind of he came back, and I didn't know he was going to be ready for this moment like this to be able to be and just take control of this Colts offense and make them a contender in the league. He's literally making them a contender. Him and Daniel Jones.
Yeah, after the first few games of the season, I wasn't too sold on the Colts. They hadn't really beaten anybody. They beat the Broncos, but they got lucky.
Yeah.
Everybody that knows that what happened in that game knows they got lucky after that 15-yard penalty.
Yeah.
But they came out yesterday. They played a good Los Angeles Chargers team on the road, and they put up 48 points. They're proving me wrong. So I got to give him all the credit. Daniel Jones has completely revived his career. Jonathan Taylor is healthy. He's looking like the best running back in the league. This team is legit.
Their offensive line is really good. It's just crazy what a team how much that just makes a difference for a team to have a great offensive line, give your quarterback time to process, and to be able to control the run game when you have a good offensive line like that. And I think that they've been dude. Jonathan Taylor breaks out at least a 30-yard run almost every game.
Yeah, it's nuts. His 2 rushing touchdowns yesterday, I think, were 24 and 19.
He's an animal, dude.
So it's not like
fun to watch.
It's not like they're just giving him the ball at the goal line and he's punching it in. Like he's running long touchdowns.
I have a parlay every week with a Jonathan Jacobs and a Jonathan Taylor, or Josh Jacobs and a Jonathan Taylor touchdown, and it hits every week. It never misses. It's like I should just put my whole account on it. It literally never misses. I don't even have to sweat it. All right, let's go back to the NFC East. I think it's heating up again. Cowboys are kind of going to come back and make things a little interesting. They looked really good yesterday. Their offense kind of getting a little bit of a resurgence now that they got CeeDee Lamb back. Dak has been playing really good. Do you think that they're going to make it interesting in the NFC East? I think they have a chance to. They're only a couple games back. I mean, they have that tie, which kind of throws things off when it comes to the standings and playoff picture. But how do you think about them being able to make a little run at the Eagles this year?
I think they'll be able to keep it close in the division race, but the Cowboys are just such a weird team. You have games like yesterday where they come out, they put up 44 points, they beat the brakes off of the Commanders. And then you have games like last week where they lose to the Panthers, they gave up 240 yards to Rico Dowdle. You have that game against the Bears where they lost 31-14. It's like this team they're just so hard to gauge. They look so good one week and then they look absolutely terrible the next week. So you never know what you're going to get from them. One thing you do know, though, is that offense is always going to put up points. That defense just isn't good. That's all it is. Yeah. The offense is going to be good enough to put up points. They're going to win a lot of regular season games. But once it comes down to it in the playoffs, we all know they're going to lose. But that's not the question. So, yes, I think they'll be able to keep it close in the NFC East, at least maybe until December. And then the Eagles will probably win the division, and then the Cowboys won't be heard of until September.
Yeah, I mean, CeeDee Lamb went out there. He had a 70-yard touchdown yesterday?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot how many yards it was.
Immediate impact out there on the field. And then you pair him with how good Pickens has looked this year, and Javonte Williams has had probably the season of his life. I kind of enjoy watching them be really good. They're a really good offensive team. It's really fun to watch them. I know you probably don't like seeing Pickens going out there just balling and killing shit because it could have been him and DK for you guys.
I just don't understand, bro. What the fuck were they thinking? And now we need a wide receiver too.
All right, let's move on.
It's just
We'll
malpractice. It doesn't make any sense, bro.
We'll go back to your division. I know you and Buff kind of talked about this last week on your guys' on Pop Stars because you were a guest on there. Do you think Cincy has a shot at chasing y'all down once they get Burrow back? They play the Jets this week. It'll be and they beat you guys. Do they have a chance at making this division interesting towards the end? Are you worried about them, or are you just worried about Baltimore?
I am a little worried about the Bengals. I knew that they were going to be tough once they got Flacco. Because even though he's old as hell, we all know Flacco can still throw the football.
At least he knows I have Jamar Chase out there. I'm going to give him the rock 16 times. Give him 16 targets.
Because he didn't look that bad with the Browns. When he first came on with the Browns, he looked like a decent quarterback. And now he's in Cincinnati with the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. So he's gonna be able to put up points. It's just gonna happen. But obviously he was playing the Steelers defense, which isn't good. We all know that. But like you said, they got the Jets coming up. That's an easy win. After that, they have the Bears at home. That's a very winnable game. They could be above 500 at that point. Joe Burrow will probably be back sometime in December. I think they're going to be able to stick around long enough to the point where Joe Burrow might be able to come back and put them in that playoff mix.
And we haven't been hearing like we were last year where they were giving up 40 points every single week. You know what I mean? Their defense hasn't been great, but it hasn't been the talk of the town like it has been, like it was in years prior. So yeah, I do think you guys got to worry about them just a little bit, especially when Burrow gets back. Hopefully he just slides right in and doesn't have too much of like a I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't slump it out when he first comes back because it wasn't that bad of an injury. But the AFC North, it's going to be tight. I don't think you guys are going to run away with things. I think you guys are going to have some big games, must-win games down the stretch this season. So it's always tight, that division. So
if we would have won last week, if we would have won that game, I would be willing to say that the division is locked. But we lost. So now here we are. Terrell Austin, how does he have a job? I don't understand. His defense is awful, bro. You have so much talent on the defensive side of the football, and your schemes are just terrible. I don't know how you let the best wide receiver in football get targeted 23 times. Everybody in the stadium knew that he was getting the rock on every play. The fans knew it. Everyone watching at home knew it. The referees
Jalen Ramsey knew it.
The Bengals knew it. The Steelers knew it. And yet they still did nothing about it. You know that the Bengals only need a field goal on your last possession, and yet you're leaving Jamar Chase open for 15-yard chunk plays. You need to be pressing him at the line of scrimmage. Like, what are you doing? It's just I don't understand, bro. Like you're playing 3 deep when they only need like 30 yards to get a field goal.
I've been seeing that Ryan Clark interview like all over Twitter where Jalen Ramsey's like, where Ryan Clark is like, what's going to happen when one walks into town? Like, what are you going to do? And he's like, oh, I got him. Don't worry. 160 yards later.
Dude.
This guy's cooking.
And you see what Jamar Chase said after the game, bro? Jamar Chase after the game says, we already knew what the Steelers were planning to do. Of course they did. They've been doing the same thing for the last 10 plus years. Mike Tomlin has been running the same defense for the last 10 plus years. Nothing has changed. This Julian Edelman used to say the same thing. We already knew what the Steelers were going to do when we played against them. They've been doing the same thing for the last two decades. Everybody knows it, yet they don't change it. They're just stuck in 2008. It's not working.
I'll always remember that game where Gronk just took
Mike
over
Tomlin
against the
is Mike
Steelers. Do you
Tomlin
remember that
is the
game?
James Franklin of the NFL.
Do you remember that game where Gronk just took over and he was laughing at your guys' players and then he was spiking the ball?
Yeah.
One of my favorite Gronk moments. Probably one of his best games in his career.
I don't get it, man. Like
All right.
there are teams in the league that have like half the talent that the Steelers do on defense, and yet they still play better as a unit than Pittsburgh does. It's
Sad
crazy.
to see. Very sad to see. All right, let's move on. It's October. That means it's baseball. It means that there's big games for baseball, and there's a big one tonight in Toronto, Game 7. Mariners versus Blue Jays. I really hope Toronto wins. I don't want to see a West Coast World Series.
Baseball is still going. I thought the season ended like a week ago.
Who's going to be the difference maker at the plate today in this game? Do you think it's going to be Kyle Riley or do you think it's going to be Vlad Jr.? If you had to pick one guy, who's it going to be?
Cal Raleigh has been the guy so far, but Vlad Jr. has also been the guy. I think they feed off of that home crowd. I think Vlad Jr. is going to have a big moment there in front of his home fans in Toronto. And I think the Blue Jays are going to go to the World Series.
That's crazy to see.
It's crazy. It's going to be crazy to see either way, honestly. No matter who wins, it's going to be weird to see. But both of those
I've never
guys,
seen the Mariners or a Blue Jays in the World Series my whole life.
Yeah. Well, the Mariners have never been to the World Series ever in their history. And the Blue Jays, they haven't been there since the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
So both of those guys, though, have been incredible so far in the playoffs. Obviously, Cal Raleigh had that huge game-tying home run in the 8th inning in Game 5 before Suarez hit the go-ahead grand slam. But Vlad Jr. he's been lighting it up in the postseason. I think he has 6 home runs.
Yeah.
Like
and they're 6-0 when he hits a homer. So just know if Vlad hits a bomb tonight.
6-0 when he homers.
Yep.
And they've only won, which means they've lost every game that he didn't homer. Because they've won 6 games in the playoffs. They're 6-0 when he homers, and they're 0-4 when he doesn't.
It's crazy. He's hitting, I think he's batting like 350 in the postseason right now. He's either going to hit a home run or have 2 hits.
He's down to 350.
Yeah.
Because he was higher than that, honestly. At one point, he was at like 5 something.
I know you love those big Dominicans. They own New York, whether it's Poppy, whether it's Vlad, whether it's Devers. Those big Dominicans, they just love it in New York. They love owning y'all.
Vlad Jr. is fun to watch, though, honestly. I know I probably shouldn't enjoy watching him, but even as a Yankee fan, man, even as a Blue Jays hater and me being a diehard Yankee fan, you just got to appreciate greatness. And right now, he's having a historic run. He's batting .462 in the playoffs.
Goodness gracious.
.462 with 6 home runs in 10 games.
I was screaming like to the heavens for him not to re-sign a contract this year and him to go into free agency and then the fucking Red Sox just to throw the Brinks truck at him. But the Blue Jays made the smart decision, paid him every dollar that he wanted, and it's shown. And the Blue Jays got exactly what they needed, their star player for the rest of his career, basically. And now they have a chance at making the World Series. So good on the Blue Jays front office for
the rumors were definitely there. There was talk about him going to Boston. There was talk about him going to the Yankees. In the end, the Blue Jays did the smart thing. They locked up their franchise guy. And right now, he's leading them to the World Series. That's what it's looking like.
So our pitching duel tonight is Kirby and Bieber. Who are you giving the edge to in this pitching matchup? Because that's when the playoffs are won and lost is on the mound. So who are you giving the slight edge to today? Two really good pitchers.
I give the slight edge to Bieber. I think both of these guys are going to be on a very short leash.
Yeah,
I mean, they kind of have to be. It's game 7. If you're not looking good, you could be out of there by the second inning. Mm-hmm. Both of these teams are going to be willing to cook their entire bullpen because this is it. I mean, it's do or die. You will use every pitcher that's available, even the starters. So I give the slight edge to Bieber. I'm not sure if it's going to matter because both of these offenses are potent. Both of these teams could go to the bullpen by the 3rd or 4th inning if they need to. But I'll give the slight edge to Shane Bieber. Kirby got rocked the last time he faced this Toronto lineup. What was that, game 3?
Yeah.
I think he was the game 3 starter. He gave up like 7 runs.
I think I'm actually going to say that this can be a low-scoring game, and I think both pitchers will go 5 to 6 innings, which I don't think is that crazy of a prediction. But I don't think it's going to be like these guys are getting beat up early. I think both of these guys are going to be poised for the moment. I'm excited to see what Toronto's going to bring that environment there, and maybe that they can get to them. But yeah, Kirby led the league in walk rate this year, with averaging less than a walk per 9 innings. So I think I'm going to give it to Kirby, the edge in this one.
How many walks did he give up in game 3?
I don't know.
I don't think he gave up that many, honestly. I was watching that game. He wasn't really walking guys. They were just smashing the ball.
Yeah. But if it goes to the bullpen, who are you going to give the edge to? Let's say it's tied 2-2 going into the 6th. Bullpen comes in. Are you going with the Mariners bullpen or the Jays bullpen? Both of them are kind of mid, but they're not terrible.
I think I would give it to Seattle.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think if you're the Blue Jays, you want to be winning when your starter comes off the mound.
Yeah, especially in a road game, Yeah. But it's going to be interesting. The Mariners used 3 relievers yesterday. Bizzardo pitched 2 innings. Brash and Vargas both pitched 1 inning. But none of them threw too many pitches. Bizzardo only threw 15 pitches to get through 2 innings. What the hell?
Wow. Jesus Christ.
And Brash threw 21 pitches. Vargas threw 13 pitches. So their bullpen is good to go tonight. And then the Blue Jays too. Hoffman threw 2 innings. Varland threw a 1 1/3. Hoffman threw 35 pitches though. So they're good to go minus Hoffman. We probably won't see him tonight.
Who you give it? All right, predict it. Who's winning? What's the score? Do you have any?
I mean, I already said Vlad Jr. is bringing his team to the World Series. Right. I got the Blue Jays tonight. Score prediction is so hard because.
All right, you don't got to do score prediction. That's fine.
You know what? 6-4.
I'm going to go a little less scoring. I want to say 6-7, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to go 5-3. Mariners win their first AL pennant tonight, and we're going to get a West Coast World Series. And then they'll just get beat up by the Dodgers, but it's okay.
I want the Mariners to win, honestly.
I think it'll be electric.
Yeah, I want the Mariners to win. I just think the Blue Jays are a little bit better of a team.
Crazy that they've been doing this without Bo Bichette.
Yeah.
One of the best hitters in baseball.
Is he going to come back for the World Series if they make it?
I have no idea. But if they had Bo Bichette, this would be a lock. They'd probably already win this series.
Maybe. You never know, though. You don't know how he's going to perform.
Yeah, that's true. And then what? You think both of these teams, they just get killed by the Dodgers? Doesn't even matter what happens?
I don't think they get killed, but they're definitely not going to win. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if the Dodgers lost the World Series. But I don't think it's going to be a sweep. They're not going to do them like they did the Brewers.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll probably be 6-game series, maybe a 5-game series, but competitive games. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. What the Dodgers did to the Brewers was it was like watching a live execution on TV.
Literally. It really was. All right, we'll talk a little basketball. NBA opening week this year. Man, NBA sneaks up on you when it's football season. You just forget how soon that shit's going to come. Let's just finish today's show on the hardwood. New NBA season. I'm less excited because the Celtics aren't going to be that good this year. But I love watching basketball. I'm still going to support our guys. I think they'll still be relevant.
You guys see it. I was ready. We're ready to go. It's going to be a tough year, especially up until March or April. But we're going to thug it out. Jaylen Brown is going to do his thing. He's going to put up huge numbers. I'm really excited to see Anthony Simons. I watched a few preseason games. I liked what I saw from Ant. But we'll see. It's going to be fun.
I think it's going to be a huge Derek White year. I think he's going to have his best year of his career. I think he's going to average like 8 or 9 assists this year and 20 points a game. I think he's going to have his best season of his career. Really good, underrated facilitator, which I think he could be. I know Pritchard's a great facilitator himself as a point guard, but I think Derek White is just going to be, Justino. We talked about him a little earlier. Travion Henderson has just been a missing persons in this offense. I'm surprised because I thought Josh McDaniels loves a nice little pass-catching running back, and we haven't been seeing too much of it this year, especially the stretch plays that we run. We run a lot of zone and stretch plays, and I thought Travion looked great with that in the preseason. It just hasn't panned out. It happens, Justino. It's okay.
You can't take Henderson on your parlay. You just can't do it. That running game has not looked good.
But Drake made 2 tutties is a lock every week. I'm just going to let you know. And probably 25 rushing yards and 200 passing. That should be the parlay every week. And a Pats dub for the next four weeks. Even against the Bucks. Put that Pats money line against the Bucks.
You guys aren't losing to the Bucks. I can't wait to be at that game with you. You're going to be very sad when Baker Mayfield is absolutely shredding your defense.
All right.
Unless you score 35 plus points, you're not winning that game.
We will.
Let's go back to basketball.
We have the best quarterback in football. He's going to lock up either Ibuka. Thank you, Dustino. You see it.
Oh, you said corner. I thought you said quarterback. You said corner. Okay, I might give you. You might. Okay, I'll give you that one. That one's a little more reasonable. Gonzo is that guy.
All right. Champs, OKC. You think they're going to – what do you think their season's going to look like this year? You think that they're going to kind of – or are they going to have those expectations and answer them? Or are they going to have a little slump as a defending champs? Because you know how it is when you're a defending champ. Everybody's coming at you. But what do you think about that?
I think OKC is going to win at least 60 games.
Ooh, I think their line right now is 62.5. What do you think, over or under?
It should be over, but coming off of a championship, they could just decide to say, screw the regular season and just, kind of screw around for 6 months until the playoffs start. It should be an over, but
let me tell you a stat. That's the highest preseason over-under since the Warriors in 2017.
Damn. I mean, they deserve it, honestly. You can't say they don't deserve it. That team looks insane. they're probably going to be even better than they were last year. And we got to remember, they were injured for a good portion of last season. Chet Holmgren was gone for 3 or 4 months. J-Dub missed a lot of time. For a good portion of that season, it was just the SGA show putting up 33, 6, and 5 a night. And they won how many games? 68?
Yeah. Like the one thing with, I think, like when you're a champ, when you come off that championship slump, is just like you lose your hunger. You know what I mean? Once you win a ring, you already had your parade. You probably come off the highest moment of your life. It's kind of hard to get that same kind of motivation and hunger to go try to win it again. But I think that they'll have it this year. I don't know if they'll win it all, because I think the Spurs, I think Houston, I think Denver, they just have another gauntlet to go through in the West, which I think they did really good at kind of staying level-headed and winning those games last year. What do you think from them? Do you think that they're going into another NBA Finals? Let's just leave it at that.
No, I actually think the Denver Nuggets are going to beat the Thunder. I think the Nuggets are going to get back there this year. I love the moves that they made in the offseason. And they were already so close to beating the Thunder last year. Going to that game 7. They got demolished. By the way. They lost by 30 points almost. But they did take them to a game 7. And we got to remember, they were banged up while they were doing that. Michael Porter Jr. was playing with one shoulder. Aaron Gordon was playing through a grade 2 hamstring strain. And they still managed to take it to a game 7. Then they go out, they flip MPJ to get Cam Johnson. They brought back Bruce Brown. I feel like there was one other guy that they signed.
I think they got they got
Valanciunas. They got Valanciunas. That's what it was. They got Valanciunas. Yeah. So they get Valanciunas, they get Bruce Brown, they flip MPJ for Cam Johnson. I absolutely love the moves that they made. I think they're going to be right back in that mix.
And to think that they fired Mike Malone.
So, no, I do not think the Thunder will be the playoffs.
When did they fire Mike Malone? 2 weeks before the playoffs? 3 weeks before the playoffs? The Nuggets. They fired Mike Malone
that was
less
insane,
than a month. Less than a month before, and David Adelman took the Thunder 7 games. So I think David Adelman with a full year, I like what you're saying, with a full year as the Denver Nuggets head coach, having a playoff run under his belt, just getting thrown into the fire like that. I think I'm with you. I think that they'll have a really good chance at having a competitive series and have a chance to beat the Thunder next year.
And they still got the best player in the NBA. I know SGA's coming off an MVP, Finals MVP, but let's not get it twisted. Nikola Jokic is still that guy in the NBA, as he has been for the last 5 years. And I don't think he's ready to give up that crown yet.
I don't think so either. All right, we're gonna talk a little bit of stuff down in Texas. Kevin Durant signs a team-friendly deal yesterday. And how do you think of this Rockets team? How do you think this Kevin Durant Houston Rockets team is going to look when it comes time to the playoffs next season? You get rid of Jalen Green, make some good moves.
Yeah, the Rockets, they definitely made some good moves. They were already kind of they had a lot last year. They were just kind of missing some offense. And now you bring in arguably the greatest scorer that the league has ever seen. So they're gonna be right there in that mix. I'm a little worried about the Rockets though. I think people are underestimating how big of a loss Fred VanVleet is. So I think they're gonna need to go out there and get a point guard. But if they can do that, if they can go out there and get somebody to fill the shoes of Fred VanVleet, then I think they're going to be right there in that playoff mix, competing with teams like the Nuggets and the Thunder when it gets to, come April and May.
They got rid of the two guys that I hated on that team, Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks. So I think I might actually enjoy watching the Rockets next year a little bit. They signed Steven Adams, right? They re-signed Jabari Smith, gave him a nice little deal. I think they got DFS too, Dorian Finney-Smith. They made a lot of good moves. They got Okogie, I think, as well, to go along. Yeah, they made a lot of big moves this season. It's kind of, and they're coached by Ime, a defensive genius basically, as a coach. So I think that identity is really gonna give teams a problem in the West. I think defense is going to be that defense is going to be a nightmare. Kind of similar who I want to talk about next, like with the Magic. Like when it comes to playoff time, defense and getting those big stops, that's what really helps you win ball games when it matters down the stretch of the season.
Yeah. All the old heads will say that defense isn't a thing anymore in the NBA. If you're actually watching the NBA, you know that's a damn lie. Yeah. All the teams that are winning championships are some of the best defensive teams in the league. We saw it last year with the Thunder. We saw it the year before that with the Celtics. If you don't have a good defense, you're not winning in this league. It's just not going to happen. You got to be able to get timely stops. You need to have a lot of versatile defenders that can guard multiple positions. A lot of guys that are long and can switch.
They got Capella this year too. Yeah. I forgot they re-signed Capella. Yeah, this team is going to be good.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to your season ticket.
We're probably going to see a lot of Reed Shepherd.
Yeah, we are. And J.D. Davidson. They signed J.D. Davidson. Yeah,
that's our guy. Sad to see him go. He won how many MVPs in the G League?
I think he won a championship and an MVP. Yes.
Was it only one?
Yeah, I think it's only one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go down to our hometown team down here in the O. Man, this Magic team, I really think that they're going to have a chance. Their over-under, I think, is like 52 or 53 for their wins this season, which I don't know. That's kind of shaky for a team that's offense hasn't looked that great. Still, that's a lot for them. But it's an ECF or bust for this Magic team.
Eastern Conference Finals or bust?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not ready to go there because I do think they're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. But I think if you lose a 7-game series to the Knicks or the Cavs in the second round, I don't think you can look at the season as a failure at that point, because those are the teams that are looked at as their biggest competition in the East. Those are really the big three teams in the East this year that everyone's looking at: the Cavs, the Knicks, and the Magic. Only two of those three teams are going to be able to make the conference finals. So if you lose to one of those two teams in a 6 or 7 game series in the second round, I don't think you can say the season is a failure. But if you lose to the Hawks or some shit, then yeah, it's going to be a different story. But with that being said, I think the Magic will be in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they went out and made the moves. The fans were calling for them to make moves for a long time. They had the young pieces with Paulo, Franz, Suggs, Anthony Black, all these other guys. But there's a few more moves that they needed to make. They go out and trade that terrorist KCP to get Desmond Bane. They signed Tyus Jones, who is a guy that I was calling for them to sign last offseason. They went out and got him this year. He's going to be a great backup point guard for them.
He is
one of the highest assist to turnover ratios in NBA history. I think it's the highest, actually. I'm pretty sure he has the highest assist to turnover ratio in league history. This guy never turns the ball over. He's a playmaking god. He can shoot the ball. Defense is a little shaky, but they have enough defense to cover it up anyway. But Desmond Bane, that's really the big move. He can play both ends of the court, and they just really needed his shooting. So that's going to be a big one. Even the rookies that they went out and got. I like the 2 rookies that they got. Jace Richardson, he had a really good preseason, and then they got that guy Noah Penda too. Those guys aren't going to play much in the regular season, though, because the Magic just have so many guys that they can throw into the rotation.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a great year in Orlando. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to the game on Wednesday, their season opener. They play Miami. They're going to crush Miami, bro.
Easy dub. So
easy dub.
Easy
dub.
Last time that the Magic won a playoff series, guess what year? Guess.
$2010.
Yep.
It was 2010.
So 15 to 16 years since the Magic have
I don't know who they beat, but I know they lost to the Celtics Eastern Conference Finals.
Yep. They won the first 2 rounds. But I think the Magic, they just need to get one of those wins under their belt in the playoff series. Jamal Mosley needs it. If Jamal Mosley wins a couple playoff series, I think he locks in his job. But if they don't, he's going to be out of there at the end of this year. They'll go get a real different coach. But yeah, it's been a long time coming for the Magic to be relevant. It's been a really good rebuild to see this team put it all together, and now they kind of went all in, put all the chips in one basket, and they're going for it this year, getting Desmond Bane. This defense is going to be insane to watch. If you're a 1 or 2, and you got Jalen Suggs and Desmond Bane out there, you're going to have a tough night. With just how good the guards are in the NBA, you got to have 2 defensive stoppers like that. The offense, you got those 2 really good wings. You got Paolo, you got Franz. Are they still throwing Wendell Carter out there as their center? You're lagging a little bit.
There's Carter up there. Obviously, I was kind of calling for Wendell Carter traded in the offseason, but I'm starting to come around a little bit on him. But this is the year. Like he has to have a good year this year. If he doesn't have a big year, then they need to move on. But I think they made the right decision. Keep him around for this year. Hopefully they can have a fully healthy roster for most of the year, because last year they were just the whole freaking season, dude. They were just banged up. First It was Paulo, then it was Franz, then it was Suggs missing like over half the season. And that's another thing. Suggs, I don't even think he's ready. I don't know if he's ready to come back. I'm not sure if he's playing on Wednesday.
Really?
So it's starting to get a little concerning with Suggs. Like, this guy is kind of always hurt, and they need him.
He's too locked in with Haley, bro.
We'll see.
He's not worried about his rehab.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't blame him, He's locked in with HBL, but he needs to stay healthy this year. I mean, this is it, because this is the year for the Magic. They finally have big expectations. Like last year, nobody was expecting them to beat the Celtics. No. And even though we beat them in 5 games, the Celtics beat them in 5 games. You were down there with me in those games. They gave us hell, bro. They were tough for that series, but nobody was expecting them to win that, and they lost in 5. And then the year before that, they took that Cavs team to 7. But this is it. They went out, they made moves in the offseason. The Celtics are without Tatum for most of the season. The Pacers are without Halliburton for the entire season. The East is wide open. They need to take advantage.
I think they'll be the best defense in the league next year if everybody's healthy. I think that's a given. And if they pair that with a top 10 offense, they're going to be really good next year. So I think their offense has to be because they're never in that top half of the league in offense. They just haven't been in the last few years. And I think a lot of that's 3-point shooting. But they add another big 3-point shooter in
Bro, I
Desmond
can't
Bane.
even.
Go ahead.
I can't even remember the last time they had a top 20 offense.
Yeah.
Their offense has been awful for the last decade plus.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's no way this offense doesn't finish in the top 15. There's no way. I think they could be a top 10 offense. I think they'll be in that 10 to 12 range on the offensive side.
I agree.
But if you have the number 12, number 13 offense or so, and you pair that with the best defense in the league, you're going to win a lot of games.
Yep. All right. Give me one of your biggest surprise teams this season. Who do you think is going to make some noise that maybe not everybody thought that they would be?
I think the Charlotte Hornets.
Ooh.
They're projected at like 27 wins right now. I think the Charlotte Hornets can win potentially 40-plus games and finally get back into the play-in for the first. I don't think they've been in the play-in since LaMelo was a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is the year. They need to stay healthy. This dude LaMelo Ball is injured every single year, bro. And it really sucks because he's one of the most fun players in the league to watch.
Yeah.
You be seeing the shots he be putting up. He's throwing up one-legged threes, bro. Did you see that play the other day? He nutmegged the defender and threw a lob from half court.
Threw the lob with the left.
But did you see that the other day? The nutmeg and the
the left-hand lob.
Yeah, he threw it up with the left. This dude's insane, bro.
Right.
He's a walking highlight. This dude's nuts. But I mean, he has to stay healthy.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon Miller. Who else did they add this season?
They got Spencer Dinwiddie. I know that.
Oh, they got Knipple.
I was just looking at their roster too. Oh, they drafted Con Knipple. I think that's going to be a really good move for them. Mm-hmm. He could really help them on the offensive end, especially if you're going to be missing time. Because even if we know LaMelo's not going to play 80 games. Mm-hmm. Even if he plays 65 games, that would be a huge step in the right direction to where he has been the last couple years. But all the games that he's going to miss, they're going to need those other guys to be clicking on the offensive end. And then when he is healthy, he's one of the best playmakers in the league. So he's going to be able to feed guys like Con Knipple. And Con Knipple can score at all three levels. That was the move that they made. I'm looking at it now. They signed Colin Sexton.
Yep.
I think they traded for
Sexton. Yep.
They got Colin Sexton. That was really the big move that they made. So they got Sexton.
They got Connaughton too, right?
Spencer Dinwiddie. Yeah. I swore Spencer Dinwiddie was on this roster.
They got Pat. I know they got Pat Connaughton.
They got Pat Connaughton.
Brandon Miller, I like. I think Bridges, even though he beats women, is also decent. Sexton is a good pick. I mean, he doesn't have too many more years in the league.
Horrible. Yeah, Miles Bridges can hoop, man. He might be a horrible human being, but I said Miles Bridges might be a horrible human being. But when it comes to the basketball court, the dude can hoop.
This is true. I think my surprise team, and I think my team that I'm going to be really watching out the West.
Spencer Dinwiddie was on the. Hold up.
Okay.
Spencer Dinwiddie was on the Hornets, but they waived him. So I wasn't tripping. He was on the Hornets roster, but he got waived. So never mind that. They don't have Spencer Dinwiddie. They did, though, 5 days ago, but now they don't.
All right, my team that I'm going to be really watching this year, is the San Antonio Spurs. I think that they're going to be a top 4 team in the West. I think Wemby is going to be a top 3 MVP candidate this season and win a Defensive Player of the Year. I think the moves that they've made, I think De'Aaron Fox, when he comes back, is going to be good, but Vassell is nasty. You got Harper out there balling. They're going to be a really fun team to watch this year. I'm excited about what they're going to do and what Victor's. As long as he stays healthy, another guy that just can't get hurt. But they're going to make that leap as to being a serious contender in the league this year. They're going to be nasty, man. What do you think about San Antonio?
I agree, honestly, but I kind of feel like the Spurs kind of do have a little bit more expectations than they have the last couple of years. They're projected at like 44 or 45 wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why I didn't pick them, honestly. They're projected at like 45 wins. I don't really see them going that much higher than that. The West is just absolutely loaded.
Right.
But I think once it comes down to it in the playoffs, they will be able to compete with those other teams. I mean, when Wembanyama is on the court, bro, they can compete with anybody. He's finally going to be able to play some more minutes. I don't think they're going to limit him to like 27, 28 minutes or whatever like they have been. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be healthy. They're going to be healthy. You got De'Aaron Fox. Obviously, you mentioned Devin Vassell. Stephon Castle is going to be huge.
Nasty.
And
they got Carter Bryant this year, who looked really good. His kid's like not even 20 years old. Looked really good in preseason and in the summer league. That boy Luke Cornett has been playing really good in preseason. You've seen kind of their 2 horns set with a double big, which Cornett is great in the pick and roll. I think they're going to be good this year, man.
Sad to see him leave.
Yeah, I agree. You got guys like Keldon Johnson on the wing. You got Harrison Barnes still out there hitting threes. I'm excited for Harper. I forgot
they still had Harrison Barnes. He's going to be great. Yeah, Dylan Harper. It's going to be – and it's good because they have so much young talent that there's not going to be that much pressure on Dylan Harper to perform because they just have so many other guys that can go out there and do it. I think that's going to help him, and I think that's going to make him even better. The fact that there's not going to be able to there's not going to be that much pressure on him. He can just go out there and kind of play freely, and I think that's really going to help him. The Spurs are going to be a good team. They're definitely going to be in the playoffs.
I think they're going to be top 4 in the West this year. I really do. I think this is going to be the year that Wemby. Everybody knows Wemby's poised for the moment and he's ready. But I think it's time to take the training wheels off and actually give them real expectations to be one of the best teams in the year, one of the best teams in the league this year.
You think they can be the best Texas team?
I think they can. Genuinely, I think they can.
I'll still give it to the Rockets for now, just because they're a bit more proven. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Spurs take out the Rockets.
No. All right, we'll finish with these bums up in New York in the orange and blue, and we'll wrap it up with that. What's the expectations for the Knicks this year? Do you see them making the finals? First-year head coach with Mike Brown.
Well, first off, before we even get into the predictions, Buff is saying Spurs Western Conference Finals. That is very bold.
It's possible, though.
I'm not seeing
it. But they're so young, I just don't see it as well. But it's a possibility, man.
It's a possibility. I think it would take something catastrophic. Like, it would take a huge injury with like the Thunder or the Nuggets for them to be able to sneak by. But they're going to be competitive. I don't think they're going to be in that Western Conference Finals yet. Back to Knicks. Before we even talk about their expectations, I just want to say I am very excited for Wednesday night. The Knicks will be raising their banner for making it to the Eastern Conference Finals and beating the Celtics. Shout out to everyone who's going to be in the building for the banner raising. You guys deserve it. First Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. You finally beat the Celtics. We'll give it up to you. But
and then you lost to Halliburton.
If the Knicks, if they kind of have to win the Eastern Conference Finals this year. If they don't, it's not going to be a good look for them.
No.
But damn, I hate the Knicks, bro. I really do. But honestly, being realistic, I think the Knicks. Nah, never mind. I was gonna say I think the Knicks can get to the finals, but nah, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I think they're gonna win a lot of regular season games. I think they're going to get to the second round, maybe the conference finals again. But I think they're kind of just going to run into the same problems they had last year. Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns can't defend. And when your two best players can't play any defense, you're just not going to be able to win in the playoffs.
I'm going to go out and I'm going to make the prediction that the Magic will knock out the Knicks this season in the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Magic are going to make it to the NBA Finals this year. That's my bold prediction.
I was going to go as far as to say I don't even think the Knicks will be in the conference finals. I think it'll be the Magic against the Cavs.
I just know that the Cavs are going to choke. I want to at least have hope that the Magic aren't going to choke that hard and that they're going to make it. I just already know that that Cleveland's going to choke at some point. They're going to win. They're going to win 55 games. They'll probably be first in the East. They're just not going to win it though. They always do the same thing.
Hey, you're right, bro. It's the same thing every year with them. But who knows, man? Maybe they'll stay healthy this year. Even if they're healthy, though, is it going to matter?
Nope. But I think the Magic, if you have Jalen Suggs and you have Desmond Bane locking up Jalen Brunson. Yes, Skyler. I'm glad you were in there for that.
Sky, what is your Eastern Conference Finals prediction? I want to hear it from you, coming from the big Knicks fan. As a matter of fact, just give me your NBA Finals prediction.
He thinks that they're going to win, dude.
Of course he does.
He's delusional.
If I was a Knicks fan, I would probably say the same thing. But I'm not a delusional Knicks fan.
The one thing that they do have is if in the playoffs, they probably have the best player on the Eastern Conference side in Jalen Brunson in the playoffs. He'll definitely probably be the best player on the Eastern Conference side of things when it comes to playoff time. But I hope it's Paolo. I hope I eat my words on this and it's Paolo. And Paolo's averaging like 30 points a game and getting like 4 or 5 assists a game and playing great defense. But I have a feeling just Jalen Brunson's he's gonna be on a heater like he always is. He's a big time playoff performer.
By June, the narrative will be shifted, and we will be talking about Paolo Banchero as the best player in the Eastern Conference playoffs. He's going to have a monster season. He came out last year. Remember those first 5 games last year where he came out averaging like 29, 9, and 6?
Mm-hmm.
He had a 50-point game, almost put up a triple-double in that game. And then he got hurt. And then when he came back from the injury, he wasn't good for like 3 or 4 weeks. And then the last couple of weeks of the season, he finally put it together. He was averaging like 30 points a game again. And then even in the playoffs, he was killing us, bro. He just didn't have enough hope. That's what it was. But things are different now. He has the help. Jalen Suggs hopefully will be healthy. Even if Suggs isn't healthy, they have Desmond Bane now. Franz Wagner needs to freaking figure out his jump shot. and the Magic are going to be fine.
I think it's going to be different. I don't think Franz is going to be forcing as many threes as he was last year with Desmond Bane out there. And even, I mean, Suggs isn't a great three-point shooter, but he puts up some shots. But I do think that's going to help. I think Franz was forcing a lot of threes last season that he didn't. It's just really not in his bag. He's more of a catch and shoot three than an off the dribble three type of guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully. So give me your NBA Finals prediction. You're taking Cavs and Nuggets.
So Skylar is saying Knicks, Pistons, Eastern Conference Finals. The Pistons, honestly, bro, I could see the Pistons in the conference finals.
No.
The Pistons are a really good team, bro.
No. Jaden Ivey's already hurt, and he hasn't even played a game in like 2 fucking seasons.
The Pistons could have beaten the Knicks last year, bro.
They could have.
They didn't have Jaden. They didn't have Jaden Ivey, and they didn't have Isaiah Stewart. They lost in 6 games. That game 6 was close. Jalen Brunson had to hit some huge shots to clutch up that game 6.
I hope Cade has another great season, but I don't know if he's going to have the season that he did last year.
Cade is going to be even better than he was last year. I think Cade Cunningham is going to be an MVP candidate within the next 2 or 3 years.
The dick riding is crazy.
I'm not dick riding, bro. Cade Cunningham is going to be the best point guard in the NBA within 3 years.
It's not that crazy to say.
It's not that crazy to say. This dude was already putting up like 26, 9, and 6 a game last year. He can shoot. He can play defense. He's already an elite playmaker. He really has almost no flaws in his game.
Yeah.
And then he says Rockets, and then he has Rockets Thunder Western Conference Finals, which is also pretty reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be Nuggets Thunder, but I could see the Rockets in there.
I'm with you on another Nuggets Thunder.
Cade is dope. Pistons. He said posting, but I'm assuming he means Pistons. Pistons are a wrench in the East. Yeah, for sure. I don't think the Pistons are going to be in the conference finals, but I really wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't.
No. All right, so who's your final prediction?
My prediction, I've been flip-flopping. I've been flip-flopping a lot. I had the Cavs over the Magic in the conference finals. But honestly, the Cavs just, after the last few years, bro, they just leave a bad taste in your mouth. You cannot trust the Cavaliers in the playoffs. LeBron James is not coming out of that locker room. This is not 2018. They don't have LeBron to carry them to the finals. It's just not happening. Even if they're healthy, I honestly think the Magic are just better than them.
Yeah. I'm going Magic, Thunder. Thunder go back-to-back.
Magic Nuggets, Jokic gets his second title.
All right. We'll end the show like that. We'll call it a day. Basketball's back tomorrow, baby. Don't forget. We got 2 Monday night games tonight. And then Spurs versus Thunder. Okay, Marcus. I see you in that Western Conference. Okay. I like this. We're kind of on the same wavelength there. Spurs
all right, Buff. Spurs, Thunder, Magic, Cavs. But who's the finals matchup?
He's probably going Thunder, Magic.
Cavs look soft in the playoffs.
Garland in particular, I just don't think he showed up like he was all regular season.
Here's my problem.
I love Mobley, though.
I know we were wrapping up, but here's my problem with the Cavs. For a long time, I did not like that they had the double big lineup with Mobley and Allen. I just thought there wasn't enough spacing. But Mobley kind of came out last year. And he was actually shooting the lights out.
He was great.
So that problem got figured out. The spacing issue was figured out. But that double, I wouldn't say the backcourt tandem of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell is not winning a championship, bro. They have no defense. They can't guard anybody on the perimeter.
Mm-mm.
You can't win like that. You just can't.
And D. Mitch was averaging like 35 in the playoffs too. He was going off. He was having some of the best games.
Thunder Cavs. That's his prediction. That's where I was leaning for a little bit, but nah. Magic Nuggets. Magic Nuggets, book it.
The city will be going crazy. No, it won't, because they don't even like the Magic that much. But I will be going crazy for the Magic if they're in the finals this year.
Bro, if they're in the finals, you got to slide with me. We're in there, bro. Because you know I'm going to have my tickets.
Those tickets are going to be cheap. It'll be half as much as I paid for in Boston. That's for sure.
Paid $1,500.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wonder what my finals tickets would be priced at. I don't think it will be that much.
At least 500.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, that's a steal for a finals game.
That's a third of the price that I paid to see the Celtics win a championship.
Yeah, I paid like $1,900 for mine, and I was like, I could see the wall behind me. It was like 10 rows behind me. Fucking crazy. All right, let's wrap it up. We got 2 Monday night games today, and then basketball is back. I mean, what a time to be alive. It's great. We're going to have sports on every night. Parlays are going to be hitting. I'm going to be taking Rob out to dinner on this parlay money. You know what I mean? We can go on a cute little date.
I like that, man. Now you're talking. I'm listening. I am picking up what you're putting down. Let's go. Oh, man. But yeah, bro, if you're a sports fan, this is like the best week or two of the year. We got all the sports right now. If you're a hockey guy, we even got hockey. We got everything.
Yeah.
We got it all.
That'll do it for today's episode. I'm glad to be back. I know I was off for a few weeks, but we're going to be back in the swing of things. Get us up to 1,000. I think we're like 80 subs left, so tell your friends. Keep subbing to the pod, and we still got more in store for you guys. This is a huge milestone for us. We've been working super hard for this, especially our guy Gene, guys on Pop Stars. Everybody's been really pulling their weight. So proud of you guys, proud of everybody. Thank you everybody for your support. We'll see you guys next week. It'll be World Series time, basketball season, and you guys stay locked into Pop Sports Network. We'll be giving a lot of content for you guys. So peace out. Rob, you got anything to say before we leave?
Hell yeah, guys. Let's just, like Javi said, let's keep running it up. We're almost at 1,000. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mom. Tell your auntie, your grandma, your cousins, your kids, your girlfriend, your side girl, her man, everyone.
Yeah, everybody.
Run those subs up. We're almost at 1,000. It's a great week in sports. We're out. Peace.
Good show today. Peace out, boys.